Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namaste. Today I'm going to share with you my experiences of the Ashram Pranali. The Ashram Pranali means tradition, the Ashram tradition from India, which is centuries and ages old as teaching itself, when wisdom started being shared from the teacher, from the guru, in an oral manner, in an oral fashion, from generation to generation, from the teacher and the guru to the students. This Ashram Pranali or the Ashram tradition was based on trust, was based on surrender, and was based on love. Love between the teacher, the guru, and the student. Trust and surrender completely by the student to be in the hands of the guru, to be able to receive whatever the guru was going to impart in terms of knowledge, wisdom, and teaching. Now, when we live in this modern world and we think of our education system, or we think of gathering wisdom or knowledge or education, it's a very different world. Everything has to be measured in terms of monetary terms. There's a fee associated with everything. There's a price associated with everything. There's a price tag attached to everything. And we measure the value of that item, in this case the education, the knowledge, the wisdom, in terms of how much we are paying for that. And we determine whether we have received good value or we have not received good value. And that really decides not the content, not the quality of the education, but the price, for the most part, decides whether we feel we have received value or not. It was totally different in the traditional method in India. The dynamics was such that when the students surrendered to the teacher and placed themselves completely in the hands of the teacher and the guru, the student knew that the teacher and the guru is going to be really looking after them and going to be sharing and giving them the best knowledge and the wisdom that is possible. They had no doubt about it. There was no question of any doubt, shanka. There was no shanka, no doubt. At the end of the process, when the education was complete and the guru said, okay, you're now ready to go out into the real world and face the real world. You have all the knowledge and the wisdom that I could give you. Go out. It was up to the student then to show their love and appreciation for what the guru had done for them by way of what came to be called the Guru Dakshina. The gift, the sharing of their abundance in whatever way they could, whether it was in material terms, it was in terms of love, in terms of taking care of the guru, in terms of helping the guru in whatever his needs may be, in whatever way they could afford, in whatever way they could determine to be appropriate. And the guru accepted it with complete humility and complete love and trust. What this did is that anyone from any background, poor, rich, middle class, from any caste, from any background, whether it was from the royal kingdom or whether it was pauper or someone from the common world, was free to go to the same guru for the same knowledge, and each of them who went to the guru would receive the same knowledge. It was not based upon a price system. It was not based upon how much I could afford to pay. It was not based upon how much I could want to give, because that dynamic did not appear in the beginning at all. And so there was no question of any expectation. There was no expectation on the part of the students or their family in terms of what they're going to get. And there was no expectation in terms of the guru or the teacher in terms of what they wanted to get from the students, really. It was complete teaching from the heart, from the soul, from the universal self itself, And that really was what constituted the true wisdom that made the student really be ready to face the world. And when this dynamic appeared this way, it really took out a lot of unnecessary energy, unnecessary play of dynamics and values and price, and all of that just totally did not exist in that sense. It was complete trust, surrender, love. When I embarked on my spiritual journey and I came up with a process of undertaking my workshops, as I started traveling around and I came up with different workshops, I wanted to follow the same ashram pranali, the same ashram tradition. And I indicated to the organizers, and I indicated it on my website, that it would be by donation. And in other words, there was no price associated with any of the workshops. There was no price tag, there was no fee associated, there was no fixed amount associated with it. I wanted to create a different dynamic. I wanted to create this traditional method of teaching where I felt comfortable in sharing without expecting anything from those who are going to be attending the workshop. At the end of the process, at the end of the workshop, they would be free to share out of their love and affection, and based on whatever they determined, what value they received, if anything, or they did not receive anything, they were totally free to give and share on an anonymous basis whatever they wanted to give, and that would be accepted by me as it is, without any expectation. Unfortunately, given the mindset, and especially since all my workshops were being done in the West, primarily in Europe, the mindset was totally different. And as I said in the beginning, the mindset currently in the world is one of give and take. There's a monetary value attached to everything. There was a monetary value attached to even spirituality. As you probably know, spirituality is one of the biggest and the highest growing business in the world today. There are all sorts of spiritual businesses that appear and that take place all over the world, whether it's workshops or teaching or counseling or healing or whatever you call it in different ways and forms. It's all over the place really, and there are prices attached to it. In some cases, astronomical prices attached to it, and people obviously want to know whether they're going to get good value. So my intention was to take all of that out of the equation, make it completely equal and on par for everyone. If someone could not afford to pay any price or value, they were still welcome to attend the workshop, and they were still welcome to just donate or share whatever they could. And if they could not share something, that is also fine. And if they gave something less or more, because I had no expectation. That's the way the teacher, the guru worked in the olden days. There was no expectation, whether it was $1, $5, $10, $50, $100. There was no expectation. How could I put a price? How can anyone put a price to spirituality? How can anyone put a price to wisdom, sharing of knowledge? It is not my knowledge. I'm just the means. I'm just the instrument of sharing what I have gathered from my teachers, from my masters, from my guru, from whatever sources that I have got, and I'm sharing it and passing it on. How can I put a price to that? Now, this concept is completely alien, as I learned in the Western world. So what happened is, when you don't put a price to something, people perceive it as inferior. They perceive it as a freebie. Oh, this is for free, so it probably has no value. It's really ironical how the human mindset has evolved, and how it starts thinking in terms of the modern world, and how, since they are used to having a price tag for everything, and if you don't see a price tag, they think it's of no value. And that's exactly what happened. That the attendance in the workshops were not as much as the organizers were expecting. And when in a few cases, when they did some research and they got into detail, they realized and they found out that people were wondering that why is there no price attached to it? Why is there no fee? Why is there not charging anything? They did not understand this concept of donation-based learning. So I had no choice at that stage to change again, and we started putting a price tag to the workshops. And lo and behold, people started coming again in droves, and the workshops started selling out. And the higher the price that you set, and this is another mindset, the human mindset in the Western world, the higher the price you put to something, the more valuable it is deemed to be. You go to any store, any shop, you go to Fifth Avenue, you go to a high designer name and you see a higher price tag, you attach a greater value to it. You go to different kinds of shops and stores, and whatever you get over there, you go to a discount store, your perception is totally different. So the higher the price tag, the better perception of value. It's really ironical. And unfortunately, that is what is taking place in the world of spirituality today, in the modern world. And I was just not comfortable with that at all. At least in my own realm, in my own world, I was not comfortable with that. And I experimented with this for some time, and I did not like it. The dynamic was different, the energy was different. People started having expectations. So when I said, or the organizer said that this workshop with Pradeep is $100 for 3 hours, at the end of the 3 hours, they started wondering, did we get any value for $100? Was it worth $100? Well, that's the question that they had to ask. As opposed to, oh, we didn't have to pay anything for it, so what is it that we gathered? Maybe it was worth $20 for us, so let's donate $20. Let's share $20. Oh, it was worth $50 to us, so let's share $50. In some cases, it would be even higher than $100. And so on and so forth. It's all about perception, mentality. The human mind has evolved. But in my humble opinion, spirituality, the cosmic wisdom, the cosmic knowledge is beyond any pricing, is beyond any value system, is beyond any possibility of being given any monetary value, because it's just not possible. So here I am once again in the spiritual realm, and I'm offering whatever I can offer along with Ramona, all our services, all our sharing, all our experiences for you to share with you out of the deepest realm of our heart, with no expectation at all. Everything is on a donation basis. Everything is whatever comes from your heart, and you're more than happy. We are more than grateful for your support. Thank you. Namaste.